Attorney General, the Honorable Dale Marshall, SC, MP, Commissioner of Police, Mr. Richard Boyce, Deputy Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Attorney General, Mr. Curtis Gills, Senior Superintendent Ruben Welch, and Senior Superintendent Acting Sonia Boyce. Other ranks of the Barbados Police Service, Mr. Randy Graham, President of the General Insurance Association of Barbados, Mr. Anton Lovell, Insurance Executive, members of the various press and media organizations, ladies and gentlemen, I am Rodney Amos, Inspector of Police of the Barbados Police Service, and I will be, so to speak, your spokesperson this afternoon. I want to formally welcome you to the Henry Ford and David Simmons Legal Judicial Complex right here, and you've been invited to attend and of course cover the discussion on the new road traffic accident investigation policy soon to be adopted by the Barbados Police Service. It's my duty to give a brief summary as to how we got here. We at the Police Service have recognized the overwhelming number of road traffic accidents we have serviced, particularly in the last decade or so. We have seen on our formal statistics, on average, about 7,500 accidents we investigate annually. Of those 7,500, a large percentage, 71% on average, are just damage-only accidents, what you would normally call fender benders, no injuries whatsoever. Another small percentage would be slight injury. About 4% involves serious injury, and about 0.1% of fatalities. While we recognize that was a large number to be consistently trying to attain, we're servicing the public as is our duty, but 7,500 accidents reported has proven to be overwhelming, and what we have recommended over the last 2 years or so, year and a half, is that in an effort to be more efficient in our management of resources and to provide an even better service to the public, we made a recommendation that the police service should only respond and investigate road traffic fatalities and serious accidents resulting in serious injury. Now, to do that, we know that it's not only the police service alone who have concern about this. We have shareholders and partners in this, and our number one shareholders in the insurance industry. So we set about a series of discussions with the executive of almost all of the insurance companies, certainly those under the realm of the General Insurance Association of Barbados, who's represented here by Mr. Randy Green, and of course, as I said earlier, Mr. Anton Lovell. We had a series of meetings, and we came to the conclusion that it would be beneficial to both sectors that the serious and fatalities continue to be investigated by the police, while the insurance have agreed that the fender benders or the non-injury accidents and the slight injury that they will in fact attend. So finally, after much discussion, we agreed and we settled that. We recognized that they would need some training, and they requested that we provided special training for the response teams of the insurance so that the standard of investigations into what has happened and the circumstances would remain at a certain level. And we're working hand in hand with them. All statistical data, all accidents that they attend, which are the slight and the non-injury, will be recorded, and us, for the Barbados Police Service, we will continue to do the fatalities and the serious, but they will be collated, which is done right now by the Ministry of Transport and Works. All three of us are working together, so the information, the data that they use annually will still be collected. And I dare say the service to the public, we will still maintain at a certain level. So we've been through all of that, we've been through the training, and I think all the parties agree that this definitely is the way to go. We have experience from other countries, certainly USA, Canada, England, other first world countries, and there are 1 or 2 Caribbean islands who have started this as well. So it's nothing new. It's something all over the world that persons, insurance companies do investigate accidents because that's what you pay a premium for, they'll look for you. So all of this, we will not stand aside, and there will still be certain circumstances which the police will respond to. Certainly, if there's a breach of the peace at the scene, if the drivers do not do as what is required by law, exchanging information, if you have persons who are maybe under the influence of misbehaving themselves and there's a need for the police to respond, they will. If the scene is blocked because, let's say, it's an overturned vehicle or a spill of bricks or something like that, police will only respond to deal with the obstruction at that scene. We just want to make that point clear. The insurance companies will still respond to deal with the actual event, but we will respond to deal with the obstruction itself.
Thank you, Mr. President. This morning with the press, thank you for coming up with this press conference. Perhaps you thought that we were going to deliver some news that might be worthy of headlines and earth-shattering. I'm sorry if this does not meet that particular standard, but I think it is important, and as a government, we've always heralded this as our approach. We're going to be changing things that are fundamental in our society. We have the responsibility to talk people through it, so they have an understanding of what goes into the exercise of that discussion. First of all, let me say this is not an initiative of the government of Barbados. Inspector, this has made it clear the kinds of considerations that have been taken in the company police. This is an initiative that the police have decided to embark on. And I think it's important to make that point. But it's an initiative that I certainly throw my full support behind. I don't agree with this guy in this story. He says that our first shareholder is the insurance industry. I think our first shareholder is the public. But, you know, from the time I got a driver's license, I think that was always drilled into your head. Any accident at all, stop, don't move, and call the police. I don't think there's any driver in Barbados, with or without a driver's license, who has not had that drilled into them. The insurance companies say, the body of God say, it is so much a part of our DNA that even when there are matters that people can settle between themselves, somebody still says, man, I know about that, I call it the police. Now, for the longest time, the public has been aware that there's been a deficit in our manpower in police service. So it's important that we understand the context in which the police have decided to take this particular initiative. As you know, we have a standing establishment of around 1,500 police officers, but we've hovered around 1,250, 1,300. Just last Wednesday, we had a passing out parade for 51 new police officers. So we've added 51 to the police service. But on average every year you will have between 30 and 40 officers who retire. So you can immediately see that we are not adding at a significant rate as we would like. We're doing better than we used to. Just a few years ago, we had an intake of only 18 in one passing parade. But you've heard these figures before. In addition to those people who retire, of course, there are people who change careers. Some of them go off and study, do other things. Some of them decide to become self-employed. So in a situation where we're still trying to address our manpower needs, we've had to reorient how we look at dealing with using police resources efficiently. Now, last year there were about 6,900 traffic accidents. In some years, we've gone as high as almost 9,000. If you work through it in your head, the police officer gets a call, there's an accident someplace. So the use of police manpower begins from the moment that call is received. And you have to allocate police officers to go to the accident. Those police officers may already be at another, that's another kind whatever it is. But the police officers have to go there, they have to deal with traffic, they have to spend time, they have to take statements, all this kind of stuff. Then, of course, they go back to the station, they have to prepare, file reports, have an help if a police report is required. On average, it will take between 10, sometimes as much as 20 man-hours for police to service a single accident scene. So if you do the simple maths, last year we had 6,900 accidents, 6,900 plus. So that's one off of 7,000. And if each of those accidents takes 10 man-hours, and it can take more because you have 2 police officers come, sometimes you need more than that, depending on the traffic is this long. So we would, at the very least, dedicate 70,000 police man-hours in a year investigating or attending to traffic accidents. Now, you may say that that is an important part of public service. It certainly is. But in a situation where we are dealing with a deficit in terms of the boots we have on the ground, we need to see how we can more efficiently utilize police resources so that they can spend their time, dedicate their time dealing with the more serious offenses. Immediately, of course, guns and homicides, burglaries, those kinds of things will come to mind. So this is a proposition from the police service that I, as AG, I support. I'm happy to say that the insurance industry supports it. And my mission here really is to ask Barbados to walk with us through this. It represents a complete transformation from what we are accustomed to. But it is a transformation that I think is in the best interest of the society. If we have police officers standing dealing with a fender bender, and we all see them, bungle and yellow name, traffic block up, people standing waiting for the police to come. And then people who have more serious issues want to know, well, why do police take so long to get here? I hear about shooting in my neighborhood, and they call the police, and it takes 2 hours before they come. There's a good chance that some of those officers who might have been required to respond to your particular more serious issue is standing up dealing with somebody who ran into the back of somebody's car, and so on. In the vast majority of cases, they do not result in prosecution because they are simply accidents. We prosecute people for willful default, for culpable activity. But we are engaging police to come and investigate accidental conduct that is in absolutely no way associated with criminality. So in circumstances where the vast, and by vast, I want a word that is even more than vast, okay? The superabundant majority of cases do not result in prosecutions. So those 10 or 15 or 20 man-hours of policing time that do not make the way to the court ends up being nothing but a statistic. So at this juncture, I think that the public needs to understand that we're not throwing them to the wolves, and I don't think they need to reiterate the criteria, but fatalities, that's a must. Serious accidents, yes. Now I know somebody will ask, well, how serious is serious? It's a slippery slope. It's difficult to define. The police are trying to work it out, and I think I have it somewhere. A serious injury is one where a person needs to be hospitalized due to fractures, concussion, internal injury, crushing, serious cuts, and lacerations, or severe general shock requiring treatment. Now, in instances like that, a person who is seriously injured is not going to be able to likely have the presence of mind to be calling insurance and to be dealing with all those kinds of things. It's important for the police to come and safeguard that person in their interest. But for the most cases, for the most part, we consider that police attention will not serve the public good. And in fact, the Commissioner may well tell you about the thousands of police reports that they have sitting gathering dust that people order but don't even bother to come and collect. Even the preparation of police reports takes up hours and hours of police manpower. will stop there and allow Mr. Green to speak, but just to underscore the point that this is all part of an initiative to have the Barbados Police Service be more modern in its approaches, reposition itself so that it is better able to deal with the serious issues that affect our society. If we can take 70,000 man hours, if we can take, even if we can take 45,000 man hours out of accidents and put them into dealing with gangs, put them into dealing with drugs, guns, we think that that is a better value proposition for the benefit of the people of Barbados, and on behalf of Minister Gresham County, we certainly support this initiative.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I will break the the meeting and get the questions if it's real issue, but just to say that from the insurance sector standpoint, we part into this conversation with the police from inception, and we are in full support of the decision statement by the Commissioner of Police in trying to rectify the situation. It's a difficult one, obviously. The insurance sector would love, and the public would love police to get every accident scene, but 7,000 accidents a year. And the issues that, the context that both the AG and the CNS are outlining with the resources available to the police. The country has to make a difficult decision, and the best decision is to use those resources to more serious issues and vendors. And that's what the sector is support. And we applaud actually Commissioner Police and his team for taking the initiative. And I think the analytical work that went into it was top notch. I mean, we've seen very high quality work when the police come to this decision. And that's why we are full support of the decision. It's not one I was taken lately. Obviously, as was mentioned, there's 7,000 accidents a year. The insurance companies pay out between $85 and $90 million to clients for particular accidents every year. 90% of those accidents do not require police support. 90% of those accidents are paid, within a few weeks without any intervention necessary with the police, because the accident is determined by between statements from the two workers. And therefore, many times the police are at the scene and they take measures and report that are not required. And that's why we think the better resources could be used in other places. Now, obviously, the public will have questions about what to do at the scene. Rest assured that, as was mentioned earlier, the insurance auto rescues and the various roadside assistance vehicles that you see that we've seen have spent time with the police force at the regional training center, getting the training necessary to deal with accident scenes. And I think that will be an ongoing process. So we put all companies through the training. Those persons are well known of what to do, and they can manage the accident scene where it's not a serious injury, and be efficient and get their folks back onto the road. So from the insurance sector standpoint, we would really encourage the public to give us an opportunity to support the initiative. Pull your car, you said the road exchange information, all that is required under the Road Traffic Act. Call us at the insurance companies, we will get the auto rescue quotes over the accident scene and stop the accident as best as we can. In circumstances outlined with serious injuries or even so many uninsured drivers, I mean, please remind me that those uninsured drivers and other situations are breaching the law, and the police will deal with those matters, and we work with the police to deal with those matters. So whether the police was coming to the accident scene or not, I really know very little bearing on whether on the car if it was uninsured, if it was uninsured, you broken the law, and you will deal with accordingly for that breach. And that will continue. So the public can rest assured that will also that's not impacted by the circumstances. It's uninsured people that hits you, and the police will deal with that situation, not an issue. The insurance company will certainly claim in the same manner. The manner that the insurance company will always certainly. The last thing we would also want to encourage folks on the insurance company standpoint is, this will take some time for the public to get ingrained. I think you mentioned that you've been accustomed to hearing no moving car to the police car. Now we're saying it's okay to move the car inside the road and call the insurance company. That will not impact your claim. But we are relying on the public to be truthful at the scene. state the facts of the accident, stick to the facts as best as you can. Sometimes accidents are by nature, will cause panic and you're not able to recall everything in this particular way. Just recall what you remember of the accident and state the facts. If the public can do that, then you won't really have issues with this at all. You don't want people trying to, attempt to fabricate recall of an accident and this type of thing. That's not necessary. If the public that supports the initiative and gives the facts at the scene, the insurance company will continue to do what the insurance company wishes to settle the law to get people back on the road. So I think that's where we are. We're again a supportive initiative. We've been involved in the conversation from the beginning, and we will continue to be involved in the conversation. We look forward to supporting the public as we implement this initiative.
Right, good morning, everyone. Now, you heard previous speakers give a real detailed initiative to us, to you all, as part of this new policy which we are looking to implement. I must say that the policy in and of itself was not a fly-by-night exercise. I must emphasize that for us, it was months and a number of hours that we have gone into work preparation of this policy, because we wanted to bring the organization into the 21st century. We cannot, or we thought it best not to go along with old policies, practices within the organization that probably were 20, 40 years ago. We are now in modern times where things are fast changing. So we too must get a quick step with what is occurring. It is happening internationally, not because it's happening internationally that we are moving into this new policy. It's because that we see the necessity for it to occur. And with that, we in the organization have been sensitizing our members to come on board and be all part and parcel of this new policy. Internally, we have trained our officers, went through the policy, and explained to them what must be done in going forward. And that was crucial and critical. We know that the whole society is, they depend on police to come to each and every event, whether it's accident, whether it's storm tornado, whatever it is. But the main thing is to have our officers fully aware what must be done when accidents are reported. And I must say that initially, when accidents are reported, it calls for officers now to have that initial contact persons asking the correct questions, whereby we will know how to advise them and when to respond to accidents and what the roles of what to do in dealing with accident situations. So there will be a sensitive period where this roll over the concern that is not attending fender benders and such like. So it means that we in the police organization will now have to tell persons what to do and what not to do. Yes, there will be concerns, for instance, when persons believe that someone might be under the influence. We have to advise our officers and also advise members of the public how to proceed in such situations. So there are some issues that we will have to deal with. I must say that for us, it is done with the whole public in mind. We cannot police this new policy without having the public fully on board. We are prepared to walk with members of the public through this process. That is the only way we're going to get the type of buy-in that we're looking for. If we work that way, we foresee that the number of telephone calls, number of reports which come to us for negligence or probably minimal damages to vehicle, where those things are concerned. Yes, there will be an educational period for members of the public and also for the police. But the main thing is to understand the reason and the purpose for why we are doing it and what we're hoping to achieve. I'm very happy to work with members from the insurance company in this policy. initially there was some standoff, if you want to term it that, because every member from the insurance company was not fully on board. But after long periods of discussion, going and coming, getting things sorted out, straightened out, so it caused a lot of tinkering and putting things together. So after that period was fully explored, dissected, and coming back to the table, going and coming back to the table, we were able to come to this juncture where we are now. So I want to again thank the insurance members who came on board and who are now fully working with us. Now we are at the stage where we want to launch this program, this policy, I should say, and we're looking at the 15th of September this year. And before the actual launch, there will be a public engagement whereby we will sensitize members of the public what to do, what not to do, and things like that. So we are ready to launch the program, start the accident policy, and deal with any issues or problems going forward between today and the 15th of September. Again, I would say that we're asking members of the public to understand what we are doing, be patient, and we will work with you and walk you through this process, which will be a sensitive process for all members of the public. So we ask for your assistance. Come on board and asking members of the public, be appealing to members of the public to understand our situation. It is for the betterment of the organization. It is the betterment for members of the public also. So we have a win-win situation for everyone. Thank you very much.
Yes, good morning. Just want to make a few points. As the President said earlier, we do support the initiative, new policy. Just want to make a couple points that we would like to make clear. Irregular drivers require to exchange information at the scene: name, address, telephone numbers, insurance company. Show also their cover notes and our certificates and driver's license as well. To make people cooperate with each other with this initiative. Also, given the large number of uninsured motor vehicles on the road, we encourage the Commission of Police, license authority, and so move quickly now to see if we can arrest the situation, because this would cause problems with this new initiative, right? Which we support, but as I said, we have to move speedily to address the situation of these uninsured motorists. Further, when going beyond the uninsured motorists, even where there is serious accidents and so on, we would like, when police officers come upon these uninsured motorists, that these vehicles be towed away and impounded. We're going to get that stage. Because if that don't occur, people move their uninsured vehicles on journey and could really impact and cause accidents further up the street or where they go. So it's very important that we also pay attention to that as well. And that also gives a strong message to persons when it's occurred that you need by law to have your vehicle insured at least under their party cover. We also want to appeal with drivers, especially when the President mentioned it this time. Give your statement stating facts and not spread away from facts. Accidents do happen. You mentioned it. We're all human. So let's cooperate with each other. When this occurs, claims are settled quickly and before driving. So, in conclusion, as I said, let us give the new policy an opportunity to work. It can work. Simple, straightforward, non-contentious accidents when they do occur, as mentioned earlier. Roads are blocked. People frustrated trying to get to their whereabouts, whether appointments or work. Again, this is a waste of manpower, waste of productive hours, and people are impacted negatively. So again, as I said, we in the ministry do support the initiative, and we
usually make a report, and this report is critical if there is litigation. So what I would want to know, because even though it may be a simple accident, there are instances where insurance companies cannot agree on who is right or who is wrong. And it may need to go further. Where is this report going to be if it has to go to court? Who is going to be responsible for writing the report, and will the court, because the court usually accepts these reports from the police, will the court be accepting the report from whom?
In the first instance, fortunately, that is the minority situation. Fortunately, the number of accidents that require a police report or any form of report that establishes liability. Yeah, but it's 90% don't require that type of situation. So at least it's fortunate that we get here. But we understand that that's a very concerning situation. The second thing I would say is that in an insurance claim, in a contract between insurance where insurance company has to pay the claim, liability is really established from the facts of the accident, and those facts can be taken from the driver statement and the auto rescue who are trained to come to the scene. The police report in the past detailed the incident and the details about the accident, but in and itself does not establish liability. Right? So sometimes you even get a police report saying that the X was deemed to be having in some form of breach on the road, but the insurance claim actually, is set in liability differently. So the police report in and itself is not an establishment of liability. It does detail the facts of the accident. So what we are doing in the new policy is making sure that the auto rescue folks are trained in how to take those little details at the scene, and then those details will be used if we need to go further in establishing the liability and to be accepted. So we are being trained to record the facts of the incident in the same way, so that if you get conflict of statements between two drivers, you will be able to rely on the facts if you need to go further to establish liability. But just to say that the police report itself never actually established liability in insurance claim. It just aided in getting the details set for subject to those things.
Okay. It's civil, really, the owner, the driver, and the insurance company. If it happens on a public road, of course, police have a responsibility for breaches of peace, offenses, traffic offenses being committed. But I think what Randy is saying is that most people want to get repaired or compensation and whatnot. And in the event, like you said, if two people don't agree, then the insurance will sort that out, or do like what happens now. If people don't agree, even though the police attend, the courts are there for that, to settle the matter amicably among the others. So it will not impact us not attending the slight or the non-injury, will not have that impact. As a matter of fact, I think it would be better service going forward.
And the police have usually been criticized for committing these accidents hours after. And what assurance can the insurance give the public that your people will be arriving early or in short order?
Another question, so what I would say is that the insurance companies, some of them have their own fleet that respond to accidents. Some use an organization that has a number of vehicles in the fleet that responds to accidents as well. So they are right. You can make the call, and these folks are trained to respond to the accident. Unfortunately, they have to go through the same traffic. Sometimes they get to the accident that is there, that may delay them. But the delay really would probably only be due to traffic situations at the time. Which we can even speak to them about ways to improve the response time, but it will not be situations where you have to be obviously. There's a big enough fleet of response vehicles there that we can service the access in Barbados in a relatively efficient manner.
Just to add to, with this new initiative, our response personnel still goes to each accident that occur up there. That won't change. That won't change. We still attend to all the accidents that occur as well.
Hi, good morning. I'm Shamar. Just one question for me. One is regarding you mentioned some person probably drug under influence and not without being part of the accident. I know a couple of years ago, you talked about reparations, major talking points, fuel chemistry. So I just want to know from the police, because they were interested, how many hearing accidents from European are caused by persons who are under the influence. And in addition to that, you talk about regulators and are people that come back this topic anytime soon, or it is studying very
I think the point the Commissioner was making is if a person's under the influence, they should be allowed to drive on the road business to cause an accident and be on the road. In relation to breathalyzer, you'll know that we've done a lot of tremendous amount of work in preparation for breathalyzer, but the government has determined that we still have a few steps to take before we actually do it, before we go on. And those steps include a number of things like having apps available for people who would use taxi services, for example, because obviously people will go effectively just anything from home. And what we want is for people to have a viable set of alternatives. So there's obviously the standard alternative, non-designated driver who does not drink. But then of course there are people who may say, well, hang on, they drink, so let me get a taxi service, for example. No, it's pretty much anybody who gets what taxi is going to charge. So one of the things that we're looking at is having a system implemented where all across Barbados there will be a fair system of knowing exactly what it will cost you should you decide to use a particular service. And our eyes have looked towards using technology to put that in place. And that work is still in the process, underway through the Ministry of Transport Works and so on. The police have already had a significant amount of training on it. Obviously, something has passed, and that training will have to be refreshed. Equipment has been purchased, but again, something has passed, so we have to look to see if we have to refresh those purchases as well. But the law has been passed, and the government of Barbados is not resigning from that. In fact, I think it's fair to say that we have made it clear that we are still committed to moving towards that. But we do feel that in order to be fair to everyone concerned, there are some other steps that have to be taken. The Commissioner has any information.
In terms of persons who taken before the court for driving under the influence, I must say that the number is very minimal, I must say. It is not that big or large amount of persons who we find driving under the influence. Many go to accidents and from person behavior, and even if they're doing the other party in the accidents, they can tell us what they observed before the actual impact of the vehicles. So from those circumstances or situations, we can say that this person seems not to be level in terms of they having full control of their vehicles and what they are doing, which would tell us, well, this person should be checked for whether or not they are driving under the influence. And we do that on every occasion that we see anything suspicious smoking, or when persons are acting in an unsteady manner. And when we do that, when it needs to be, but in terms of statistics, it is very, very low in that sense.
I think the public will want to know as well. There's an accident, minor, but someone was driving without paying attention, someone was driving on the wrong side of the road, didn't have their driver's license. Who is responsible for making this report to the police? Whether it be insurance or the party involved. Because the police is not dependent, but who is responsible for going to the police and saying, well, I was involved in an accident, but I believe this person was on the wrong side of the road. That's an offense. Driving without paying attention, that sort of things. Who's responsible?
There are a large number of offenses in our laws that do not see prosecution. I mean, some of them you may consider to be ridiculous, but I won't even go into those. We have 370 or so laws, and almost every single one of their offenses are created. But those people often police would have to come out, take statements to try to determine if the facts as demonstrated show that somebody was driving without due care and intention. And yes, that could lead to prosecution, but we're asking the public now to adjust their mind to a different approach to policing. If police don't come to the scene, they're not, because there's a minor accident, then what you can expect is that there will be fewer charges like that make the way to the court, because the police have not come to investigate that. What we have to ask ourselves when we balance having cases without due care and attention and so on, it was two things that would not be a charge for without due care and attention. And you know, from my days in court, we would say, you can't want what you want. But really, you've heard that. I'm sure you've heard that. In other words, you plead guilty to one, and they will let you off in the other. So when you ask yourselves, are the ends of justice being achieved? You really have to wonder. A lot of these offenses are charged pro forma, and therefore, are we really doing the society a benefit by persisting with them? Again, that's why we're here, because we understand that people we have 100 years of vehicles, so people are accustomed to 100 years of operating in a particular way. And we're saying we're going to change that. We prefer to have our police officers use their time more effectively. If a person is charged without due care and attention, or the police officer, the matter goes to court. Officer Brown has to come to court. The matter, not ready the first day, and the case may come on 5 years from now. Officer Brown wasn't even seen the accident, wasn't there when it happened. So all Officer Brown would do is say, these are the facts, and try to convince the magistrate of the person's guilt. The magistrate will invariably fine you. So that's the limit, that's the extent of the penalty. So I'm really saying that we need to do a reset. What are the priorities of the police service? What are the priorities of our society? Do we really need to charge large numbers of people with these kinds of offenses? In fact, traffic offenses, if I remember correctly, do not even make their way onto your certificate of character. Your police character does not mention traffic offenses, and you might have to. So we need to reserve police manpower for the worst of the worst. Maybe some of the people who really break the law more often, maybe these are happening. I prefer them on the road trying to deal with it. Those are not, but you're not dealing with accidents. Remember, this is an accident policy. This is saying how the police respond to accidents. Now, I think we would all rather if the police could divert some of that 70,000 man-hours a year into being better able to police the conduct outside our drivers, rather than standing up for hours and hours and going through the paperwork subsequent to that, to charge people, or to not charge people for traffic offenses. So I think it's about readjusting our priorities. But again, this is new, and I want to say the reason we've chosen the 15th of March is to be able to, 15th of September 2024, is to give ourselves a month in order to carry out effective public relations. People are going to be getting accidents every day. We could have said this coming forth from Monday next week, but could we really sensitize the public and get them to buy in such a short period of time? We don't think so. We think that a month of public relations, we've been asked GAS to do, what do you call it? The essays for us. And we're also going to have frequently asked questions available online, so that they're going to be on all the social media platforms. People don't see something, you can put something on social media, publicize it every day for a month, and somebody will still tell you, I didn't know, I didn't hear. So we have a lot of drivers, and we need to get to everybody so that everybody is also going to affect government vehicles, so we are going to be an equal opportunity police service provider. So a messenger from the police, from the officer general get an accident on Bay Street, do not expect the police to come. We're coming if it is a serious accident, if it's a fatality. We've said to you, we've said that there are circumstances where the police will come to the place, but they're not coming to the accident. So if a big fight breaks out, police will come. Okay? But they're not coming to take no measurements and so on. They're coming to deal with the fight. If traffic is blocked up, police will come. But they're not coming to deal with the accident and take measurements. They're coming to deal with traffic. Let me say, where a pedestrian is involved in a traffic accident, police will come. A pedestrian doesn't have traffic insurance. So there are instances where the police service, because of their national responsibility, have a duty to act to protect citizens. If somebody, if my mother walked in and Charles were bringing the car, they could not help me. But she can call, she's son, she's not the insurance company to come off. Okay? Or she can call on the rescue as well. Okay? So we recognize that individuals, in that instance, a person, a pedestrian, or somebody on a bicycle, those individuals are not on even terms. They don't have an insurance company to represent them. Police will come. They may be, mass casualty incidents, so police will come to that. Because in the mass casualty situation, there is a requirement, I think it's obvious that they will come to that because that represents a greater use of resources, there are many more issues, so if a ZR or a bus is involved in a mass casualty, police will come. If a ZR or a bus run into another vehicle and the body is injured, police will not come. Okay? So we're not creating any special car vote for any special people. All right? So we're going to have a month of public relations, a month of sensitizing the public, and then on the 15th, we go live. Now, people, we keep saying that people are using the cameras. Again, I say use the camera. Use your phone. Okay? Use your phone. If you're not sure that you remember what happened, record your statement. You haven't talked to the other person, record it. Don't get in a fight over it, but certainly we are very good at recording all kinds of things. Very good at recording things that for your own benefit, so you don't have to be on your memory when you arrest you 2 hours later. You would have recorded that. So please look out. You are still under an obligation to report the accident. The police and the government of Barbados still need to maintain statistics. So public works maintains statistics, the police maintain statistics. Something as simple as helping public works to know that a particular junction is dangerous. So the statistics feed into those things. So you will still be obligated to report the accident to the police within 24 hours, but we are putting a new accident report form online. You'll be able to complete it online and just hit send, and the report goes in. 3 people in an accident, 3 cars, everybody will report it. The police are trying to find who right or wrong. The police just want to gather the statistic of an accident and this is where it happened. These are the circumstances which it happened. And that will mean that 3 people will be reporting it, the car numbers in the change, so their computer system will tell them these 3 reports, same accident. Okay? They're not trying to figure out who is right or wrong. But it's going to be available online, so rather than everybody heading down to St. or heading to Oyston or wherever it is, you go online, you can do so many things now, complete the accident report, send in the information, and you will satisfy your obligation under the law.